All right, welcome to the North American hard court swing. The US hard court swing? The Canadian hard court swing? I don't know, but I'm calling it hard court season, normal bounce season. We're back on the hard stuff, and it's an interesting time of the year. I don't know about you, but I get pretty amped up for this run up to the US Open. Normally, it's because the tennis has come to my corner of the world and I'm on the right time zone, but now I'm still in Europe, so I'm in the worst pretty much time zone for it. But anyways, lots to look forward to. Namely, some of the topics I'll break down in this video. Will Novak Djokovic even play in Canada, Cincinnati, or the US Open? Daniil Medvedev could lose the number one ranking to Zverev or Nadal, most likely. And I'll be stuck in Europe, as I said, so we'll have Brendan, Krina, and Julian on the ground at some of the tournaments covering all the action for you here on The Slice. So let's break down some of the big topics of the hard court swing and do a preview. Welcome to the show.
Hey guys, this is Casper Ruud.
Hey, it's Dennis Shapovalov.
And welcome to The Slice.
Welcome to The Slice, people. Like and subscribe really helps us out. And man, oh man, it's about to get busy up in here. Yeah, like I said, favorite time of the year. One of the favorite times of the year for me. Love hard courts. Love these tournaments. It's going to be good. This week we got Washington, the ATP 500 going down in Washington. We got the San Jose WTA 500. And we got Los Cabos ATP 250, where Medvedev, Felix Auger-Aliassime are playing. Shapovalov is playing in Washington, along with a bunch of other big names. Kyrgios, obviously. I think Rublev is the number one seed there. And then a lot of the top women are in San Jose. So that's this week. And then next week, we have Toronto and Montreal for the National Bank Open presented by Rogers, which some of our team will be on the ground in Toronto and Montreal, actually. So just extensive in-the-ground journalism from The Slice here. We got people on the ground. We got Brendan in Toronto, Julian in Montreal. So stay tuned to our Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube for content about those tournaments. And then the week after, we got Cincinnati, Cincy Tennis, great tournament. It was the first professional tournament I actually ever went to, was Cincy Tennis. And then the week after that is a rest week, and then we got the US Open. So a lot of action in this next basically month. It's like the month of tennis. It's crazy. So there's a lot to go down. So in this video, as I said, I'm going to give my... Stay tuned to the end of the video because I'm going to talk about Medvedev and then I'm going to talk about Djokovic, and I'm going to give my opinion on whether I think Djokovic should be allowed to play or enter the country. And it's not, typical to give an opinion, but I have one on this, and I think a lot of people, especially Djokovic fans, will agree with me. So, Medvedev back in action. We haven't seen him play, as he was, in my opinion, wrongfully not allowed to play in Wimbledon. He played a bunch of grass events before Wimbledon, Medvedev did, and then now he's in Los Cabos in Mexico to play. He's got a lot on the line for him in this season. He's got 1,000 points to defend in Montreal because he won the tournament last year, which was held in Toronto. And he has not really played his best, as we know, when world number one is on the line. So back in, I think it was almost like last year he could have won it, got to number one if he had done a few things. And then earlier this year, he lost the number one ranking. He just needed to win one more match. Hubert Hurkacz stopped him. He's kind of flip-flopped, and he's kind of gotten the number one ranking by default of Djokovic not being allowed to play in Australia, and then points not counting at Wimbledon. So we'll see if Medvedev can step up to the number one mantle better here than he has, but obviously a lot's been going on for him this year with Wimbledon and stuff like that, so there's been stress and lots of stuff like that. But anyways, he's playing on Los Cabos with friend of the show, actually not friend of the show yet, Felix Auger-Aliassime, Canadian. They're not the number one and two seeds. And I want to see that matchup go down because I think it would just be fascinating tennis. Again, they played that epic match at the, I think it was the quarterfinals of Australia. And they haven't played since. So they were supposed to play in Hertogenbosch in Holland, and then Tim van Rijthoven upset both of them, took out Felix in the semis, and then Medvedev in the final. So maybe they will play here if they meet in the final of San Jose. But Cam Norrie is in the half, I think, with Felix. So that's going to be a tough route. But other than Cam Norrie, they should be in the final, basically. So as I said, there is a lot of good tennis going on. We got Washington. Rublev is through. Yeah, but I really think the hard court swing gets really heated up in Canada, where I will not be, unfortunately. My home country, I'm here in Europe till the end of the tennis season. That's what I've committed to, basically. So I will be crushing myself staying up late to watch a lot of tennis over the next month. So pray for me. My health. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I guess it'll be like wake up early is probably what I'll try and do, but it'll be tough. So we'll see. I might do the wake up early. I might wake up like 2, 3, 4 in the morning. You know, you guys know how it is. Won't be Australian Open where I'll just like stay up all night. That's too much. Too much. Anyways, but will Djokovic play in North America? That's the big question that I have, and I think a lot of tennis fans have. And right now, currently, I checked yesterday on the Canadian government, you cannot come to Canada if you are just for like work or sports, if you're a professional sports athlete. So, professional sports athlete. Basically, you can't enter the country for things that aren't like super necessary if you're an unvaccinated foreigner, which Djokovic is. And I think the same right now is the policy for the United States. So if he, isn't able to play Canada, might not have played there anyways. If he isn't playing Cincinnati or the U.S. Open, it's just like, to me, it's devastating for the rankings and for, it's more of a delegitimization of that rankings race this year, basically. It's sad that we have this going on. And all tennis fans should be wanting Djokovic to play. Obviously, there's the opinions now of who, you think Djokovic should get vaccinated. Yeah, sure, that's fine. I'm pro-vaccination. I think you should get vaccinated for sure. But I think it is personally ridiculous for him not to be allowed in the States or Canada for this reason. I'm fully vaccinated in Europe, and I haven't had to show my vaccine card for like 3 months. And I've traveled to almost every country in Europe. No issues, barely worn a mask. It seems like it's over. And then we got Canada and the United States, which in the United States, there's about 60 million citizens who are unvaccinated living in the United States. So if you think Djokovic is ridiculous for wanting to come into the country when there's 60 million people there totally unvaccinated, I think that's a bit ridiculous because that's just not changing anything. It's not changing anything. There's no risk. He's not going to get super sick and have to use their hospitals, which is kind of what they're afraid of with these laws, I think. And that's the same for Canada. It's the same ratio there. So I think it's fairly ridiculous. I hope that they can make an exemption for him. People might think that I'm wrong for wanting an exemption for him, but honestly, these are the types of things I think exemptions should be made for. I don't know, national interest. People want to see the number one, Serbian Canadians, Serbian Americans want to see their star play, and it won't negatively affect anyone or increase anti-vax sentiment, in my opinion. So anyways, that's just my opinion on this whole debacle, but I hope that something will be figured out. But if not, he's going to miss out on potentially 4,000 points that he would be playing for. Probably only 3,000 because he hasn't played Canada for a few years. But we'll see what happens. And I'm hoping he'll be led into the States, but we will see. What do you guys think about that? What do you think should happen? Let me know. But yeah, we have the hard courts now from this point until the end of the year. So there's a lot of points to be made up. Historically, Medvedev, this has been like for the last few years, he's been the best player in this time. Obviously, he won the last U.S. Open last year, beating Djokovic in the final. But right now we got Nadal, who's had a great, obviously amazing year so far. Won the Australian Open, won the French Open. So he's got all those points, and now he's he has 0 points to defend for the rest of this year. So there's a very high chance that Nadal will end the year as number one, which is pretty amazing for him. And we'll see. We'll see where he's at physically, but I think he's had a bit of time. He's had about a month to rest and recover after Wimbledon. So I think he'll be rocking it and ready to go. And I'm hoping we can see all the biggest stars play in U.S. Open, particularly Djokovic, Nadal, Zverev, Medvedev, Tsitsipas, Carlos, Yannick, Felix, Shapovalov. Who am I missing? We want them all there. We didn't have them all there at Wimbledon, and that sucked. So I'm hoping this U.S. hard court swing, North American hard court swing, Canadian hard court swing will be full of action, and I believe it will. And on the women's side as well, like I've been watching, unfortunately, Bianca Andreescu have a bit of an injury here in San Jose and lose in her first match there. But to me, the women's U.S. Open is going to be so interesting with Świątek now having lost twice, Wimbledon, and again in Poland, I think. We'll we'll see what happens. So many women who could win the U.S. Open, who could do damage there. And last year we had Emma Raducanu coming from the outer orbits of nowhere to win. So you can't really expect anything going to be normal at the U.S. Open. It seems for the last few years on the men's and women's, it's been the most open tournament for players outside the dominant ones to win. So that's just another reason to look forward to this hard court swing. So that's a little preview, setting the stage of the big stories. What do you guys think? What are you guys excited for? What do you think is going to happen in this upcoming season? Stay tuned to the Slice for a draw preview of the National Bank Open in Toronto and Montreal. And we will see you then. And thanks for being here.